Today's episode of the Just Keep Swimming podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is an online audiobook and podcast service offering over 10,000 books and the ability to listen to your favorite podcasts, including the Just Keep Swimming podcast. I personally use Audible all the time and suggest you take a listen to Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell. In this book, Mr. Maxwell shares his story on how he was able to live a noble and purposeful life and gives you tips and tricks so you can do the same. So please start your 30-day free trial now at www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast, all lowercase. Again, that is www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast. And if you have any more questions or concerns for the Just Keep Swimming podcast, you're always welcome to reach out to us on Facebook or at Instagram at justkkeepswimming_podcast, or you can email us at jkspodcast702@gmail.com. And with that out the way, let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your friend, your boy, your host, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we back at it again with another great episode for you. And you already know who I got with me. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mr.
1-3. Nah, just 1-3. Okay. How you be, bro?
I'm doing good. How about you, man?
Just got off of work. Finally made it through the week after coming through vacation. So finally time to just relax and then get it kicking. Get it kicking again for the full time next week.
Right. Exactly. No, I feel that, bro. And I'm just sitting here looking around your room, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know. I'm loving all the posters, but I'm sitting here like, damn, where'd you get that from? Because
like what?
I mean, just like the idea of putting all this stuff on your wall. Cause my wall never had nothing on it. Like, you see my walls in my house ain't got shit on there.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, it kind of mostly came from when I was out in Reno by myself when I got my apartment. Mm-hmm. Because I always had the Kobe Bryant and like the Dwayne Wade, and I think that
the easy basketball stuff we always got from camps and stuff for free.
Yeah, might as well put it up. But it was honestly when I got the Biggie and the Kendrick, and I put those up on my wall. And then I went to this past week vacation. It wasn't the first time I went to a rap concert, but like a bigger one. But Greaves, I seen that out in Reno. I think my friend Arena gave me that Super Mario Odyssey poster. Jackalman, that was something I found when I redid my room, and that was like a project from seventh grade.
Right.
And then it just kind of went up from there with all of the the kid trophy plaques and stuff.
And it's funny because I'm sitting here like, I don't know where none of my plaques are.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're all downstairs in the garage, if anything. But
it's either that or in your room still, like under your bed or in the closet, because I think I looked around.
You think? I don't know. I feel like we had to get them all rid of them one time. I feel like I kept only one trophy out of all my trophies. And that was the glass trophy I won in Michigan for the football camp.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so... Yeah, but anyway, just curious. Yeah, it's reminiscing, like back in the family home. Gotta love it.
Right.
But today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a pretty short and sweet episode for you guys. I've been just kind of thinking about some ways we can help other people, or help people reflect on experiences that they go through. And I was listening to a post the other day that talks about kids when they go to school, and they're like, when your kid comes home from school, don't just ask them the basic questions, what did they learn today, or whatever. Ask them actual in-depth, thought-provoking questions that can help them reflect on their day, or help them realize something that they didn't realize for the day.
Right.
I don't have examples of the exact questions as of right now, but I think that this applies in other aspects of life, and I want to, practice it right now with you, definitely being that you just went on your little vacation and everything like that.
Right.
And I just want to, ask some questions that, I learned that you should ask people after they go on vacation to help them reflect off their little vacation, even if it's on like 4 or 5 days, 2 days, 34 minutes, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Help them reflect on it. So that's all I really want to do today. Nothing super duper epic or whatever.
Yeah. No, and I mean, given just the account of the trip, I think there's like you asked me this if I wanted to do it before I left for my trip, and I'll let you know, but there was definitely a couple moments in the trip where I thought back to you asking that, and I was like, yeah, I definitely got to speak about this when you get ready.
Okay, so. Cool, perfect then. So we're gonna just dive right into it then, bro. So my first question that you ask everybody after vacation or trip is, how was your trip? Nice and simple.
Yeah, it was good, bro. It was definitely needed. Definitely like a break from reality, and definitely a break from the hometown city. You know what I mean? And get into like, you know, different temperate weather or a different structure, because, you know, there's more hills and things like that, and
more scenery.
South forestry, and you know, just seeing the fog and stuff like that. It was really nice. Like one thing I kind of want to speak on was when we left Vegas. So like when we picked up the last homie Ray and we started heading out, and then we kind of like started getting out of the city and stuff. It was cool because from the jump it was like, okay, how do I want to explain it? So just kind of me and my anxieties and shit like that. I was just wondering, okay, well, this is the first time, this is an extended drive with some people I've never driven with, and I haven't really driven out of state with anybody before, other than my homie Steven, shout out Steven. But when we went to the rave in the beginning of 2020 for the New Year's, then because we went to Arizona, but that's a close homie I've known since second grade. These are people I've met once I reach my adult life, and usually we hang out and stuff sometimes, but this is like my rave family. So I was like, you know, wondering how that was going to go, and from the get-go it was just smooth. It was like we was laughing, joking. Homie Ray stayed up with me while Bree and Will slept in the back. We was having conversations. It was just cool to just drive and chill for 6 hours
and zone out.
Zone out, yeah.
Zone out, listen to music, let your mind go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No worries. Like the only thing you have to worry about right now is keeping this car on the road, and that's it.
Exactly.
You know, and don't get a ticket. Yeah.
and it felt nice to just not be in a rush. Like, yeah, I was going like 10 over the speed limit, but like that's just cruising. Like other people were passing me up. Let me give it to the right lane. Let me pass this truck real quick, and then let me just get back to what I was doing before, and just coasting.
Yeah, and then it's that feeling too of also like, ain't nothing I can do. You know what I'm saying? I can't receive a phone call. I'm like, all right, I'll turn around and help you out. You know, I'm 3 hours away in all directions. Like anything that somebody asks of me that's back home, if I can't do it over my phone, I can't do nothing for you right now. I'm 100%, you know, low-key untouchable. Not untouchable, but unreachable.
Yeah,
you know
and that was the main goal, honestly. That was like, yo, as soon as we're out, I don't want to really look at my phone. I'll reply to a couple people, but it's not like a conversation. I'm just, hey, get the phone out of my hand. I'm here. You know what I mean? So, and then going to the beach. One of the spectacular. I'll speak on the beach later, but before we went out there, we went to this Target to, you know, get a couple of supplies and stuff like that, like water bottles, because we forgot to get that before we left. And I was so enamored with how the Target structure was out there. It was way smaller, but there was a second story. Like it was a whole escalator to get up to the second story, and it was incredible.
It was different.
It was different, yeah. And noticing the fog, like when we just pulled up, because there wasn't that much fog on the way up there when there should have been, but when we pulled into the city about to get to the Airbnb, like the freeway fog, bro. There was somebody that was in front of me as I'm falling. I'm going slow because I'm not used to the terrain out there, but 5 seconds later he went probably 20 feet in front of me, disappeared. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, like everything was dope, bro. Everything was dope.
That's good, bro.
Yeah.
No, and I love that, you know, the different experiences, the different weather that you can only experience by getting out of your city. You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I love. I'm so glad you was able to get out of it. So then the second question I always ask everybody when they go on a trip is, what was your favorite part of the trip?
So, bring it back, the beach. So the thing that like captivated me was like, first off, more nature just around me in general, trees and stuff like that. But once we got to like the beach area, which was only 6 minutes from the Airbnb, we went to like I think I posted it on my story on Instagram, but it was just like a view over the ocean before you get down to the sand and everything. Beautiful, just the rolls, and you see the people out there. There was hella dogs out there. Like, that must be a dog beach, you know? But seeing the waves, and then when we finally get down there, the sand was warm, even though it was like high 60s, low 70s out there, and the water was cold. But the thing that really like hit me was the waves were kind of like rough, you know, they were coming in, it was kind of high, but me and Will were like the first ones to go out there and just like take it in, and the water was cold. Fuck, okay, well now it's kind of numb, my legs are kind of numb. Let's get out there and just like take the wave. And we're just out there just posing like, you know, getting a base, like some martial arts stance, and then just like taking the wave and stuff like that. And then we're just looking at each other, just fully enveloped in the moment, feeling the water, feeling the breeze, just seeing the full ocean, seeing our friends back there just chilling. It was amazing. I felt like a kid again. Beautiful. It was, again, I can't just speak enough about it. It was just being so involved in the moment, and nothing else mattered. No phone, no people that, you know, from the city bothering us, nothing. Just
no work, no family, nothing. Just enjoying myself, my friends, and
exactly
where I'm at right now.
Exactly. And then it was nice just being grounded by the waves and the sand.
Right.
Because it was like, now I'm connecting more with the earth rather than just this man-made concrete and asphalt that I traverse every day, you know what I mean? Or this half-ass kind of grass that we have at the parks out here, because we're a desert. It's not meant to be forestry out here, but you know, just feeling all of that natural energy just coming and slapping your knees and splashing your face, and the cold temperature, and it was amazing. It was amazing. That was my favorite part.
And I love what you said just now about, like, you know, getting away from the man-made and going back to the nature stuff, the God-made, the stuff that, you know, we can't replicate this
at all.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing I can do. And that's how I felt when I was in Utah. It was like looking at the mountains and the lake and stuff. Like, yeah, I see the roads that we put to go through them, but we can't replicate this. We can't replicate this mountain, these trees, all these animals. Like, you can't replicate this
at all.
You know?
Yeah, and you know, just seeing the small animals, or you know, even mosquitoes. I didn't want to fuck with them, but I was like, oh, it's nice to see other bugs out here and shit like that. I think there was a moment when I was on the beach and I just kind of like sat near the wet sand where the water was just kind of like brushing in to just go back out. And I just sat down and I was just closed my eyes, crisscross, and just like just take in like all of the sounds and the feeling where the water just randomly come up and hit my feet, and just like being in there. And then randomly I was probably sitting there for like 5-10 minutes, and something came up and kind of like bit me on my foot. And I was like, oh shit, okay. But I was like, I've never seen that bug. It fell off my leg and then just buried into the sand. I was like, what the fuck was that? But I mean, it was cool.
Right.
Like, I ain't dead, I'm alive, I ain't sick.
You ain't purple or nothing.
That. So it was just cool just getting in touch with just the natural energy and life of the world. Right. You know, from God given, you know. I as I was sitting there meditating, I was like, yo, God, just thank you for bringing me out here and letting us make it here safe. And I just pray that we make it back safe just as much, you know. So yeah,
I love it, bro. So then the third question that, you know, I always suggest you ask somebody after they go on a trip is, what is one thing that you learned from the trip?
Learned? It's funny because Will said it, I think. It was like, yeah, just kind of like allowed me to slow down a bit. Just constantly like thinking about the future, or feeling like I'm rushing things, or I'm not getting shit done fast enough. And it's just like a nice just break. I'm not in any rush. I know I was speaking to you last night when we was talking about some stuff, and it was like, you know, I'm not in a rush to get all of this business stuff figured out. Like, I mean, we still have lives, we still have to do our day job to support this,
right,
and get what we need to get done and live in, and given the state of the world at the moment too. It will happen when it happens, you know, and we'll figure it out. At least we're on this bridge already. And it made me like to kind of continue off of my previous point, like I'm in no rush, but it allowed me to fully take in the present moment of how far I've come and where I am currently. Like, yeah, I may be taking a break and maybe I want to do this all the time. Maybe that is a dream goal of mine, to have this much free time to like go explore, but also realize that all the work that I put in to get to this point now, to enjoy this vacation to begin with, I got this taste. Now I know that now I have something else to look forward to later on as I go back and put in more work. Right. But I'm not in a rush to do it. It will come as it comes. Right, exactly. You know?
No, and I feel that, and I think that's a beautiful takeaway right there. Like, you know, no point in rushing, because like you said, you're out there, you're on your own time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not on no work clock where you have to be somewhere at a certain time or anything. It's like you guys just go with the flow, and it's like, don't go find some food? Yeah, let's go find some food. And then now you just take a time to find some food and drive somewhere and, oh, what's that? Let's go check it out. And now you're just exploring, and next thing you know, you are an hour off of whatever your anticipated schedule was. You're just all over the place now. But
honestly, the only itinerary that we had was, and it wasn't even, the only itinerary that was scheduled was the concert.
Oh, okay.
And other than that, yeah, we had an itinerary to go to the beach. Other than that, it was
everything else
go with the flow. Yeah. Oh, we talked about going to a dive bar. Second thought, we went to the beach, and it was like, we might go back to the beach later, and we did. And let's just chill back at the Airbnb. It's a nice Airbnb. It's old. We had some fun ass conversations, just goofing around and shit like that. It was just having a good time in the moment for that weekend. You know?
Exactly.
So
I love it, bro. I love it, man. Yeah, that's beautiful. So then the very last question that I like to ask everybody after they went on some type of trip, vacation, or experience is, what is one thing you wish others could have experienced during this trip? So, like, what is one thing you experienced in this trip that you wish that, you know, other people would experience as well?
Two things. Maybe three. Okay, one, again, I'm gonna just say the ocean, but it's the fact of what you're doing with the ocean, you know what I mean? So really just taking in, to bring it specific to the people back at home, right, that I wish they could have experienced, just taking in all of that natural nature and just like being a kid and not having a care in the world, of just enjoying that time, you know? Because it's liberating. It's really, really liberating. And yeah, I fuck cold water. I don't really care. I just prefer lukewarm, warm, you know, maybe hot. I don't know I'll ever take cold showers, but like taking in that cold ass ocean, revitalizing. It was
refreshing. Yeah.
Woke up, it healed my soul, you know? So that's something I wish that somebody could realize. Another experience that I had was when we left the Fisherman's Wharf going to the concert. And that's where we was going into downtown San Francisco. So like where the Airbnb was, I guess it was more the residential, so it was more clear streets and stuff like that. It wasn't busy, it wasn't tight or anything. Well, comparatively.
Right.
But as we're going, I forgot, or I really didn't know how steep these fucking hills were, right?
Right.
So I'm going up, and it was like this. It was a steep ass hill, right? I'm like, oh, okay, fuck it. Like that's kind of crazy, but you know, whatever. Go up, level out, right? And then there's this hill that's damn near like 90 degrees. Like I would say a cool 75 to 80 degrees up. And I'm looking at this shit, and I don't like heights, bro. And I'm looking at this shit, and I'm driving, and I'm like, like, there's no other way. We can't turn right or something and like go around. We really gotta go up this hole. And I'm like, man, fuck it. Like, I don't got time to think. We gotta get to this concert. So, you know, it was the experience of facing a fear dead on and just having to do it, having the courage and the confidence to do it.
Right.
And making it through to the other side, you know? And something I want to touch on, because I said the courage, right? But that second part, the confidence. And I was listening to this podcast today. I sent it to you. But one of the things she said was like, yeah, confidence is like that stereotypical definition of that is, you know, having belief in yourself to conquer something, right? but she said she wanted to rephrase it and say like, it's the ability and bravery to try, even though you may not like succeed or anything of the fact. Right. It's just having the confidence is going out there and trying either way. Right. And that's exactly what I did, and that's how I kind of felt, because I'm like, well, we got to get there. I have to try to go up this hill, and even though that shit was uncomfortable as fuck, I felt like I was going to flip backwards or go back if somebody was behind me, God forbid, you know. But, you know, let me just try either way. Like, I know how to drive. I've been driving for 10 plus years. Let me just go up slow. Let me just do it. Let me try. Let me do it. And that was just to, even though my anxiety was rampant until we parked under, you know, in the garage below the concert, but it was just like, yo, I really did that. Fuck doing that again, but
I did it though.
I did it though. That means I can do something else. Yeah. You know, and I feel like that just gave me a whole bunch of confidence, and just belief in myself. And third, I kind of want to say getting the Master Sword. And I just spoke to you about this before we started, but like, I don't know about the gamers out there that's listening, but if you ever played Ocarina of Time, I don't know if you ever, even if you didn't, I'll explain the story. So as you progress through the earliest parts of the game, you're a kid, and once you defeat the 3 dungeons and get the necessary items to go get the Master Sword, once you pick up the Master Sword, you're put to sleep. You're too young to hold the Sword of Evil's Bane that's supposed to seal away evil and be like the hero. But he was asleep for 7 years. And then he woke up as an adult and then carried out the rest of his mission. So when I went out to San Francisco, because that wasn't the first time I was out there, but I was out there for an orchestra trip. And we went to the Fisherman's Wharf, and we went to this knife shop, and there was this Master Sword there. I was like, oh shit, that's dope. I fucking love Zelda. Like, that's probably my number one game in my heart, you know? But I was too broke. I was in high school. I didn't have money, right? So, ironically enough, 7 years later, I come back out there to the same thing, and now I have the money to do so. It felt destined to happen, and it felt so good to return to something now that you're more mature, and then you have the ability to do with the things that you want to do. Right. And that was definitely one of the things that I forgot, but I wanted to do, and I actually achieved it. And it's sitting there in my room right now, and I fucking love it. Not sharp or anything. I don't know if I will get it sharpened or anything, but it's just the fact that I had essentially like a dream of having it, and now I got it. And it's just a certain level of peace and contentment that I have with myself. Right. Because it's just, again, you wanted something, you came back later, more developed and more able, and now you finally achieved it, you know? So I think that's just a great experience that I wish anybody could like hold on to. All 3 of those could just like, you know, I hope you guys like truly get to experience that one day.
Right. No, I love it. And I think those are like, you know, 3 great experiences you wish you can have people, you know, that everybody I feel should experience. You know, the experience of, like you said, facing the fear randomly that you don't even know is about to happen, but all of a sudden it gets thrown in your face, and it's like, either you're gonna face it now or you're gonna turn around and not do it. Right. And it's like, well, shit, I paid too much money for this concert, so let me face this fear and get up this hill, because then also another thing too that gets me is, shoot, you weren't the only car on that street. You know what I'm saying? You weren't the only car on that street. There was other people hitting that car, probably in cars worse than yours. So it's probably like, man, if that little bucket can make it up this hill, I can make it up this hill. So let me do that, you know? Right. And I feel like that's the same way going with Utah, because it was like, I don't like back streets, you know, or definitely like the country ducked off streets. And in order to get to the spot we were staying at, we had to go down that street. You know, there's no lights at all for miles away, and the most you'll see is one random car passing. You might not see a car until you get to the spot, you know? So it's like, but it's that facing that fear is just like, man. Or I hate taking high turns too. I hate turning at high curves, you know? But same thing though, man. If I want to get to my destination, I got to get through this. Right. So I think that's beautiful. Like you said, the idea of the if it's meant for you, it's going to be for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that story was, you know, who's to say, of course, it could be another model. It could have multiple being bought and they keep replacing them. But it's the idea that it's still there when you come back 7 years later to come see it. And it's like, oh, wow, it's still here. I've been thinking it's been sold, gone. you know, one of a kind, but it's still there. So let me get the one I can afford now. Because I wanted this a long time ago, couldn't get it. I can get it now though, because I'm older now. I'm big enough to hold this sword because I'm holding life now.
You know, again, it was just such a beautiful experience, even leading up to that point, right? Because I said we got to go to the Fisherman's Wharf because I got a recommendation from a coworker to try this restaurant. But you know, it was the walk to there after we ate. Because I'm walking, and I'm like, okay, where the fuck is it? Because right now I don't recognize where I'm at.
I know it's here.
But I remember it was downstairs from this mirror maze. And I remember the staircase and everything. And I'm like, I'm not even 100% sure if it was right there. But you know, we finally get to like a recognizable area where the market was for the attraction for tourism. And, you know, I'm kind of like leading the group, but everybody's like behind me. And I'm just kind of walking around just like, okay, I feel like it's down here. I'm walking, okay, like, I kind of remember that. I think it might still be down here. You know, it felt like God was just like leading me. And then I turn and I'm like, that looks familiar. Look up, something that said something about knives and blades or something. And I'm like, this is it. Walked in, same counter layout and everything. I'm like, this is it. Walked straight in, looked up, hanging up on the wall right there. I'm like,
give me that
shit.
Yeah. I ain't looking nothing else. Yeah.
Hi, hey, how are you doing? Okay, can I get that? I want that. Give me that. And then it was so beautiful, bro. Because then we were the only ones in the shop, and then some other people, like another group of people, came in, and I'm like holding the sword, just like, I'm like, should I really buy this? And then it's like, hey, yo, bro, that shit's hella dope. It was like, yeah, bro, it's the Master Sword. And he's like, oh, you. I was like, yo, 7 years ago, I was at this exact spot, couldn't buy it. Now I'm here, able to buy it. And he was like, oh yeah, and bought it. Congrats, bro, congrats. I'm like, thank you. And I'm just walking around with this big ass box over my shoulder. My friends grabbed the bags that I was holding before, and I'm just walking back out, just like accomplished.
Yeah, we can go. I don't need nothing else here.
At all. Yeah, I'm happy. And it was beautiful, bro.
I love it, bro.
Beautiful.
I love it, man. I love it. So yeah, bro. And I'm so glad you had a good trip. You know what I'm saying? Glad you had some fun, got to refresh yourself, recharge yourself, get some things something you probably had off your list and it came back for you, you know? So that's beautiful, bro. So then, so the questions I asked, or the 4 main questions I was asked anybody that went on a trip, you know, how was your trip? What is, you know, what was your favorite part of it? What is one thing you learned? What is something you wish other people would experience? And then I think those 4 questions would just help people reflect on their trip. And I just want to ask now, actually, though, how did those 4 questions help you reflect on your trip just now?
It just made me relive it again and cemented it in my soul. You know, I feel like that's, you know, it's one of those experiences that you would tell your kids someday, or like as you get older, and just, you know, yeah, you went to San Francisco? Yeah, I did that like 2 times before, you know?
Right.
And this happened. It was definitely a highlight of my life in my mid-20s.
Right.
You know?
And then on top of that, too, I didn't ask nothing negative.
You didn't?
You know what I'm saying? I didn't ask, you know, what went wrong on the trip, or, you know, how did y'all do this, or nothing like that. I didn't ask anything to bring up any negative emotions about the trip. Like, literally, my questions are focused to bring out the positive. Because if the trip was bad, but somebody asked you what's your favorite part,
yeah,
you have to sit here and think, what is something I enjoyed on it? You
Yeah.
know, even though I was irritated and tired because people were driving slow, and, my mom was tripping, and whatever the case may be, what is something you enjoyed, though? And it's like, okay, let me reflect now, think about what I enjoyed. What is something you experienced? Like, okay.
And I was going to say, it kind of also opens the door to potentially have them flip the negative experience into a positive one. Like, as you was just saying that, I was thinking about the hill thing. Like, yeah, honestly, fuck that. I did not enjoy that. But the conquering that was something that resulted from it, and I enjoyed that very much, you know?
Right.
I have to take time to acknowledge that, you know?
Right, exactly. No, and I truly agree, because that's how I felt about the trip. It's like, you know, I hate driving in snow that way. I hate driving in mountains. I hate driving over the cliffs and stuff. But then I think about it all, and I'm like, man, I did it, though. You know, so I did that in a heartbeat, and I know I can do it again now. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I know I can take that same course. I would hate to take it again because it was long. It was a long journey, but I know I have the ability to do it.
That.
You know, and that's what I have to tell myself all the time. You know, it makes me reflect back to college. I mean, I took this drive back and forth from Reno all the time, a lot of times by myself.
Right.
So I know I can take this drive to Utah with somebody with me.
That.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it shouldn't be a hard, you know, it shouldn't be something I can't accomplish no more. So, yeah, bro, I love it, man. I love it. So, that's all the questions I really had, though. And that's one thing I just wanted to just bring up and just, like you said, help other people out there learn that, you know, if somebody's went on a trip or, like you said, enjoyed the experience, went to a concert, you know, those are some very simple questions you can ask. You can probably ask kids like that after school, you know what I'm saying? How was school today? You know, what was your favorite part of the day? What is one thing you learned today? You know what I'm saying? And what is something you experienced today that you wish I could have experienced?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just say I because, you know, what is something that you think mom or dad would have liked that happened to you today? You go, oh, well, you know what, mom? I washed my hands every time I went to the bathroom today. I think you would have been so happy to see that. You know, it could be something as simple as that, you know?
Yeah.
I learned that I don't like cursive. That's learned to unlearn, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just like those questions help people reflect, help people's minds go, and then it takes you into, like I said, perspectives that you wouldn't have even thought of.
That.
You know, things that you wouldn't have thought to take away, or you thought you took away, and then you're like, oh, I did take that away, and that was a good experience. I'm glad I got to bring that back up and relive that just now. Even if it was just questions, I'm not there, my spirit felt that feeling.
Right.
Yeah, so I love it, bro. I love it, man. Anything you want to leave us with today, bro?
Slow down. Slow down. Just take it all in as much as you can, and that's coming from somebody that's kind of always on 10 in their head. Just slow down. Take a break when you need to, and just when you do though, make that break count. Make you experience life. Be in the moment.
Right.
Do your best, you know?
Right, exactly. No, and I love that because that reminds me of this post I saw the other day. The guy was, him and his girlfriend, or let's say his girlfriend, him and his woman was sitting on the beach, and he was like, I feel like I'm wasting time right now. And then she was like, if you're enjoying the experience, you're not wasting time.
Right.
You know, because like he was sitting on the beach just staring at the waves, but he had that anxiety of, I should be working, I should be filing paperwork, I should be sending emails. But she's like, but we're sitting here relaxing, enjoying the view, enjoying the experience. Like you said, grounding ourselves. This is not a wasted experience. This is not a waste of time. You know, you probably want to do something, but at the same time, this is probably what you need to do. So, yeah, no, I agree with that. Enjoy the experience, slow down, take a breath, you know, and let go. You know, let go of what you can't control. Like, if you out there, you on the trip, man, everything that's at home, let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the lights, food, whatever the case may be. Don't worry about it. Let it go. You know, let it go and enjoy the experience you're at. So, I love it, man. I love it. So, yeah, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed today's message. Like I said, short and sweet, but, you know, take it with a grain of salt and just try to practice it yourself. Find some questions that may work for you and your kids, you know what I'm saying, or your spouse, family, friends, whoever you want to apply these type of questions to. Just find out, you know, find something that works for you. Because in the original lesson I learned, the only two questions I truly learned was what is one thing you learned and what was your favorite part. But I threw in the what is something you experienced that you wish others could have, 'cause that makes you think about others as well. So, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, hope you guys out today. Hope that helped you guys out today. My words are terrible today. Hope you guys had a wonderful day, a marvelous afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to just keep swimming. Yes, sir.
Splish splash.
Slurp.